In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, my dear friends and fellows in Pakistan and abroad, marriages, marriages of we ourselves, the marriages of our sons and daughters, dear friends, what is the situation here in the case of marriages? We have to marry our son, our daughter. In some of the cases, we want to remarry or we want to marry ourselves as well. Dear friends, first of all, there are enough number of cases here in our society, enough number of cases here in our society where the age of the son or the daughter is, has crossed 25, 30, 35, 40, and we are still looking for somebody, someone of our choice. Our sons and daughters are getting older. The time of their marriage is passing, and they are indulging in the unethical ways. They are having a kind of premarital affairs and even premarital physical relations. Lot of complications are arising out of it. And why? Because their physical needs are not being met in a genuine ways, in the legitimate and the legal ways. So it's like a water which cannot be stopped. Mean if at all it is stopped and it will start getting dirty, dear friends, where the marriages have taken place, in many of the marriages, they're very much unhappy with each other, the son and the wife, the husband and the wife, and then the families on the both sides, the parents, sister, brothers of the bride, and the parents, sister, brothers of the groom, they're unhappy. And these two people who are wedded with each other, they are very much unhappy as well, more unhappy than anyone else. And still, in many of the cases, a divorce has taken place as well. Their marriage could not survive for a longer period of time at all. They were, the marriage was quite troubled first on the rocks, then they got separated, and now they are again looking for the new marriage of their son or daughter. So there are enough number of the failed marriages here in our society. If at all they are very much unhappy, but still they are living together, they have not divorced yet. I think it is a failed marriage as well. This marriage too is not going to be a successful one at all. Cannot be called a successful marriage at all. And still, even after marriage, there are extramarital sexual relationship affairs as well. Dear friends, if at all a marriage has broken and there are children out of that marriage as well, their life will be in the great trouble as well. So, why, by the way, all of that is happening? Shouldn't we worry about it? Shouldn't we worry about it? If at all the proper age of the marriage is going and they're still unmarried, we are looking for the right and the proper spouse for those people, for our sons and daughters. Isn't it a very complicated situation at all? It is absolutely. We need to ponder upon it. If at all our son and daughter is unmarried yet and the time is passing, we are worried indeed. We find ourselves worried indeed. But if at all they are married and they are unhappy, we are again worried indeed. But if at all their marriage has been broken, so all of that, we need to dig out the reason behind it before we go for the solutions of it. I think maybe the kind of criteria we have set, the kind of criteria, the kind of standard we have set in choosing, while choosing, the spouse of our son and daughter, prospective spouse of our son and daughter. I think the way we judge the people, the kind of standard and the criteria we have set, we need to reconsider it. We need to reconsider it well before it is too late. I think we are looking for the money. We are looking for the good and better jobs, high social status, all the things which are very much apparent and very much visible and noticeable. I think we keep ourselves focused upon all of those things. What is the physical appearance of a person? What is the physical appearance of their the rest of their sibling, her, him or her, his or her siblings? What kind of house they are living in? What is the interior of their house? If they do have a vehicle, what sort of vehicle or vehicles do they have? The kind of job or business this person is doing, how much of the influence in the society do they have, how much of the social status do they have in the society. So all of these things, everything else which is actually called, which is related to the social status, we are always looking for the social status. Social status has become very much important and more important than anything else for us. The social status has become more important than anything else for us here in this society. Why? Because we are of the view that our standard will be raised again along with those people. Either they people should be as good in a social status wise as we are, or they should be even better than us, so that the people will look upon us enviously, so that the people will consider ourselves as the more successful people here in this world. Why? Because we are marrying our son and daughter at a place who are enjoying a very good social status. Social status mean all of these things combined. Why we call it a kind of success? If at all this is a success, then why the marriages of our sons and daughters is on the rocks? Why they are that much unhappy? Why they have got separated and they are seriously considering for a kind of separation? Why does it happen? If at all this thing, all of this thing is a success, I think it does happen only because of one reason, and the one reason is that we have the wrong priorities. I think if at all, unless and until we do change our priorities, I think that things are not going to get better at all. What are the wrong priorities? The wrong priorities actually mean it is we have put the cart ahead of the horse. We need to change the situation. It is important having more money. It is important having a good social status. It is important, but still I don't think that this is more important than anything else at all. And I don't think that upon the social status only we can live happily. The marriages can be called a successful one. Why? Because of the social status, because the equal or even better social status. The trouble with us is that each one of us is looking for a person of better social status. Each one of us is looking for the person of better social status. So this actually means that the marriages are getting late and late and late, and the proper time of the marriages is passing on the one hand. But if at all these, not only this thing, rather they become sexually active. They start finding the other people, mean premarital sex and the love affairs. So this thing has becoming very very common here in our society, unfortunately. So this is nothing but a disaster. I am of the view that we should change the priorities, and we should now start looking for the things which are metaphysical. We need to look for the people who are good as a human being, who are better and more responsible as a human being. I think so. This humanity should not be put on the back burner Rather, we need to make it as a first priority, because unless and until we don't make it as a first priority, I think that this sort of situation, the late marriages will keep going on. And I think so extramarital sex affairs will keep going on, premarital sex will keep going on, the unhappy marriages will keep going on, the divorce rate will keep going on. So all of that situation is very alarming actually, and we need to do something very seriously about it, because this thing actually mean the disaster of the life. This thing actually mean that the failure of the life as a whole as well. Look upon, visit, if at all you don't have any doubt, do have any doubt again, I mean, upon what I'm saying, then I think you need to conduct a kind of survey whether it is a situation like this one or not. Dear friends, let's change, because why are we preferring the money over the humanity, over the good attitude, over the reasonable thinking, over the sense of responsibility? Why is it like that? By the way, it could be, it is the reason is that we ourselves has gone astray as well. We ourselves too in our life, whether we are a responsible human being or we're an irresponsible human being, whether we are trying to become an obedient creature and slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not, at least we are trying to earn more money, at least we are trying to get more and more respect in the society. So all of these things combined actually are taking us toward the disaster, unless and until we do change the priorities in our life, unless and until we do change the kind of thinking we are having. I think the things are not going to get better at all, rather the things will keep getting worse and worse. And that is how we are spoiling our own life and the life of our children as well. We need to take a kind of U-turn. Material is important, social status is important, but if at all we do put it as the first priority, then I think it becomes a disaster. But if at all it is given the secondary status, and the first status, the first most important thing is being taken as the sense of responsibility, as being a good human being, as a person of good attitudes, as a person who is more obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as a person who was taking more care of their previous family, like their parents, like their sisters and brothers, like the rest of the people, like the needy people in the society. If at all we start looking for the good human being, if at all they are considered as more better option for the sake of our as a spouse, either as a husband or as a wife, I think it will take us in the right direction, and we will keep improving. We will start improving as for this area, which is extremely important one, because it is called the future of our life, the future of our sons and daughters life. It is because this is the life of our sons and daughters. I think we need to understand it. Thank you.